So reading the Panda CSV file, and you can see that these are the data from the CSV file, and you can see that I have 891 passengers actually on the Titanic ship, and if they survive or not, and what classes of cabin they are in, what classes of passenger they are, their gender, their age, okay, and if they have a sibling or spouse on the same ship, or if they have parents or children on the same ship, and what kind of fare they pay for the ride, for the which which seaport they embarked from, and which deck they are in. Actually, Titanic has different section represent different classes of those. So, for example, class 3, they usually don't have a deck; they're just floating around. If they class 1 or 2, and they will designate a deck to assign it to. Okay, now I'm going to assign what happened. What's going on? So now I'm going to read it to a data frame, Panda data frame called Titanic. What's going on? We can see that the same thing showing up. Instead of this line, I'm just reading it and display on screen. And also this one, I'm reading it, the CSV file in, save it into a Panda data frame, and then I show the data frame. Since I have 891 passengers, they only show the first 9 and the last 10. I'm sorry, first 10 and last 10, so 20. So you probably see that the option for display maximum row equals to 20. If I set this to 10 by default, and this is going to be only showing 10 portion. My keyboard is disabled for some reason. Give me a second. Let's move on. I can show the first 2 columns, for example, Titanic.head to, and so I only show the first 2 passengers, and I can show also the last 2, okay? And the column means the name of the columns in this table. You probably see that survive, P-class, gender, sex, age, sibling or spouse, or parents or children's, and fares, and which port they embarked from, which deck they belongs to. So this is the column name. And also this index, I'm going to show you, okay? So you start with a 0, index 0, ending with 891, step of 1. You see that here I have initially 0. This is the index column, which is the bolded columns right here represent index. And most important part I will say is the so-called information. I will show you. For this data frame, we have a so-called info function telling you for each one of a column how many of them are non-null, and what type of a column they are. It's an integer 64, or it is a floating point, or it's an object. Usually is object means it's a text information. It's floating points or integers, or it's objects, and so on and so forth. And the next is tell you the shape of this Titanic data frame, 891 rows and 9 columns, so total 9 columns from 0 to 8. And the descriptions actually, the description give me some of the statistics about this data frame, total counts for each one of the column, the mean, standard deviation if they are so-called, if they are integer numerical columns, minima, maxima, and 25 percentile, 50 percentile, and 75 percentile. Okay, they give you all this number. For integers, they don't give that much information. Again, we can run it for the head and type of Titanic frame, and here is actually showing you the Titanic is a Panda data frame. Question for me so far? All right. Next, we're going to go over some of the built-in function for Panda's data frame. First is the length of a data frame. Total, I have 891 rows. And I'm going to do Titanic, okay, head. I only have showing the first 5. I have rounded to the closest integers or 0. So all the information rounded to integers, and also we can run this. Minima of the Titanic is age. Okay. Next, we talk about the attribute which belongs to the Pandas data frame. Okay, going on. The shape, the size. Okay. So it's 891 times 9 equals to 8019. The indexes, okay, start with 0 to 891, not including 891. From 0 to 890. And the column, okay. Several methods we already talked about. The head, the information, and the minimum value for each column. So you probably see that the minimum value for survive is 0, or you can do maxima. P class equals to 1, 2, or 3. Gender equals to male or female. Of course, F is smaller than the M, so female is the smallest value. And age is 0.42, is about 8 months. Baby on board. Siblings and spouse or parents or children's information, fair. Some of them don't have fair information. Okay, again, I'm going to display the first 5 to just review what we have. And we can display a specific columns on the Panda data frame. Here is one I just want to display the age column right here. It will just display a one single column right here. And I'm trying to see the type of the column age it is. So if it's a single column data frame in Panda, we call this series. So series is a single column data frame usually, and If you have a multiple column like this, and then we'll call it data frame. That's all there's to it. Okay. So if I wanted to make it as a data frame one more time, instead of just display as a series, we can do a double square bracket to show it as a data frame itself. Okay. So now you can see Titanic double square age is actually a data frame instead of a series. Next we want to do is we want to check out the age and the gender portion, and that will show two columns. Okay, if I'm going to display them in that sense, it's the same. Since I have two columns, automatically becomes data frame. Just want you to get used to, what is the Panda data frame is multiple column with a column name, sex, age, and fair, with index information. We're going to show you later on how to change the index, how to change the name for your data frame. Those are fairly easy. And also I'm using the object format to access the Titanic data frame. So just Titanic.age. It will give me as one of the, okay. So here I'm trying to say if the age equals to such a number, or we can say greater than equals to. We show you those examples later on. So it is true, the age equals to age. They give you a true or false information back. One of the things in Panda data frame is we want to select rows and columns within the data frame to do certain manipulation. We can even add condition into our expression to select several, only the part of the row satisfies certain condition. We're going to continue going on those, probably, oh, here we have. We're going to show you the basic syntax first, and next lecture period on Thursday, we'll come back to show you some more exotic application for those selection. So here what we have, using square bracket, we can choose first again display the first 5 rows of your data frame. If you want to display first 10 rows, you just type 10 or 20 over here in the bracket, in the parentheses, and it will show you the number of rows from the very beginning. And the same thing applied to tail objects. And we can see that it gave me an arrow because they don't know which is rows or columns you want to refer to. And what we need to do is running like this. It means I want the Titanic data frame from 0 rows to the first row, 0 to the 1 row, but not including always. The stopping condition is not including from 0 to 1, but not including 1 row. So it's showing row 0. Here we have the next one to illustrate is from Titanic data frame from 4 to 5, but not including 5. So it only shows the 5th rows, the 4th row, I'm sorry. This one is for Titanic from the very beginning all the way to the 10th row, but it's not including the 10th row. So it's from 0 to 9. Again, if you say 10th right here, is always not including. Similar, you can show the first 10 rows is exactly the same from using the head function. And One of the nice things about Panda data frame, you can using negative index, which means -10 column and nothing. Means from the very end of your data frame, go back for the last 10 portion. Okay, so you see the last 10 rows of the data frame. But this is exactly the same using what Titanic.tell 10, which means giving you the last 10 as well. Question for me. All right. If not, we're going to continue using the index operator using ilog. Log means location, I location. The I stands for using index number. So what is the index? 0 to 9 or A81 to A90. Using this index, what you have as the row selection. So one more time, I'm going to read in another data frame called Summer Olympic, all the Olympics contenders, okay? Which year it is, which city it is, what kind of sports and discipline they are, okay? The athlete's name, which country they come from, the genders, which event they participated, did they won a medal or not. And this is all the way from 1896 to, I think it's 2006, I believe. Okay, let me show the tell or 2012 for this data set. I have another one for 2016. Medals information, going to run info, actually show you there is 31,164 entry. Okay, so it's the 31,000 entry. We have years, city, sports, similar. These are all columns, and which type of information they are. And integer means a numerical number, object usually referring as a text or string messaging. And this one, I'm going to, using describe, it will show you as statistics on the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, 50 percentile, 25 percentile, 75 percentile, only on the numerical data. So the object data, they will not produce these type of, okay. I location, index location called ilog, and you can choose is the first, 0 means the first row, and you can choose the type is a Panda series, only with the one rows, and the first row, okay, and -1 means the last row, 0 to 5, column 5 means from 0 all the way to 5, but not including 5. So for showing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5. -5 means the last 5 rows. So, and choosing any range you want. Once again, if I'm row 456 to 459, but not including 459. Okay. And this one represents, I want second row, 45th rows, and 765th row. So it will show me 3 rows selectively. Okay. Yes, I'm recording this meeting right now using a different software. So don't worry, it's not on the Zoom meeting. And it's on the MS Teams recording. I recorded the screen myself. So it will have a, I find out this is a much easier way and cleaner way to do the screen recording without all the meeting information. And next one, I'm going to show, this is the so-called metals hat, showing the first 5 rows. Similar, okay? You want to show the allocation for the 0 and 4, means zeros and 4th, the 4th column. So 0 means the very first row, row 0, and the 4 represent the 4th column, okay, the 4th column, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it's the 5th column. Understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, so the 4 means the 5th column, since the index always start with 0. One more time, let's take a look. I want to show what does this mean. Can you tell me? 0, common, 0 to 3, meaning from 0 row, first row 0, and I want column 0 all the way up to 3, but not including 3. Make sense? All right, so actually show you the first 3 column, 0, 1, 2 column. So iLog is using number to access the part of the data frame. Okay, we're talking about location instead of iLocation, using column name to later on. What is this? Metals dot iLocation, index location, row 0. What is this part? I want column 0, 2, 6, and 8. See that? Okay, let's run this. You will see that 0. I want row 0, want column 0, column 2, which is the sports, and column 6 actually is the gender, and then column A, which is the metal they have. So I want you to be able to understand, even though the iLog has rows and column, but you can choose specific column. And same thing, you can choose specific rows. Understand? I want row 0, row 2, row 4, and so on. Same thing. What is this? Metal.iLog, row 34 to 39, but not including 39. And I want column 0, 2, 6, and 8. All right. All right. Here is what I need is select column with iLog. I want all the rows, just one semicolon right here, represent all the rows from 0 to the infinity. Column 4, what is the column 4? Athlete, okay. And equals to metal athlete, okay. Athlete, which is this. So let's run this. It showed me it is true, okay. So all the column has athlete name equals to column 4, which is, I confirm that. This one, again, will show you all the athletes participate in Summer Olympics. Question for me so far. Okay, next things we're going to do is we want to access the Pandas data frame using label instead of index. Okay, I'm going to reread the data file in CSV file and showing the Summer Olympics one more time. Okay, here what I have is I want, when I read in, everybody see this? when I read in the information, I specify a specific column equals to my index. And I'm using athlete's name as a column, as an index. Now you see the data frame has only what? A column instead of 9, and the athlete name becomes the index column, okay? First, show you what is the second row is, okay, is the year is 1989, and so you see then now this row does not contain the athlete information name, but it is in the index portion, okay, called Davis Demetrios. And also we can show, now we can see medal, location, drivers, Dimitrios, and run it at, give me the same result. Okay, so I think since this is the only one event he is participating, so it only show once. But now we see another person, Michael Phil. And you guys probably know this is a swimmer. And you see he participated in 2004, 2008, 2012, lots of event, okay? And all the gold medals he won, and bronze and silver. So this is an American swimmer, 100, 200 meters, and relay, freestyle, and so on and so forth. And also we can show when it's the first time or first medal he won in 2004. What event it is a 100-meter butterfly, and he won a gold. Question for me, just showing you various different way to access the data frame, either using iLocation. iLocation, it means index location. You give a number to access rows and columns, or you're using regular location, LOK, LOC, and that means you're using a column names and index name. Okay, and you can combine log location and iLocation together. What is this? I want to show Mike Phelps and what kind of medal he won. So the athlete names is equals to Michael Phelps, and then medals, all the medals he won. Next, I want to choose the row equals to Michael Phelps and Phil Michaels, and the event and the medal, same thing. The next I want to show, what is it? Here again, row and column. See that? Can you decipher that part? Row equals to Michael Phil and Carl Lewis, both of them. I want two athlete rows equals to either Michael Phelps or Lewis Carr, and I want to list the rows of event and medal column. So it will show me all the Michael Phelps and Carl Lewis and the event and the award they are winning. Okay, I'm going to show you next one, the same thing. This is okay. What is this? 72 means. Can you tell me? Medal, location, column and Spiriton Jaspers. What does this mean? This is the guy over here. What it means, I want all the row up to Spiriton Chapters and showing every single athlete, it should be every single row before that athlete. So it will show me everybody from the first, second, third, and fourth up to this. Make sense? All right, we can do the same for the other athlete. Okay, so you can uncomment these out and run it. Just for your exercise. I'm showing the first 20, and I'm going to show from Drivers Demetrios and Blake Arthur. Okay, see what we should have from Drivers Demetrios to all the way to Arthur. Where's Arthur? Blake. Oh, Arthur Blake on the 20th. So we're going to show all the event and athlete rows in between these two. Let's do that. It will show me that's section of a row. So this is using so-called location, LOC, instead of an I location. And I want to show for Alfred Hajos, and the years and the discipline is N. So year is from here, all this discipline. So it's actually row 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see that. All right, so he participated 2 event. Okay, and years and discipline. What does this one show? Michael Phelps, and I want to, and what is this? Chuck Phelps. I want these 2 persons, okay? All the event belongs to these 2 persons. I have it, what? In the bracket, these 2 name means row. I want row equals to Michael Phelps, also this person, both. So Michael Phelps list, and then this second athlete also listed. All right. Very easy. Same thing, using location, Michael Phelps, years, and age. What's wrong with that? I don't have a column called age, okay? I don't have a column called age, so it showed me the error message. Age is not exist, okay? All right. And these are just summaries of different ones we participate, okay? And repeat it. You can run this by yourself and to see. I'm finishing the very basic description, kind of running down on the laundry list of functionality, basic functionality for Pandas. And we're going to close to 1 hour already. So I'm going to kind of stop right here. And next time we come back, we'll go through a little bit more variety of application these basic functions can use for Pandas data frame. And we will discuss, show you how Pandas data frame can be utilized in the real data analytics projects. And also, I will show you why all these newer functions, machine learning, neural network, deep learning, artificial intelligence library available, or even statistic and analysis library, now they are moving forward to accept so-called Panda data frame type of data. Some of our exercise and exam coming up in this class, we're going to using Pandas data frame to handle up to millions rows of data, and we can show you it is as efficient as the so-called database SQL languages as well. In fact, nowadays an SQL function is integrated with a Panda data frame. We write a so-called SQL command to fetch data from the database, and then using Panda's data frame to manage the local data in the memory we want. So we do a huge database whose storage on the hard drive and get a filter them and get a portion of them out into the computer memory. Then we run it with so-called machine learning algorithm, artificial intelligence algorithm. Then the Panda data frame was able to refetch additional data from the database automatically and sync, so we can process those large amount of data batch by batch without suffer from the performance. Okay, so that's what we concluding today's lectures, and